all day. Hey everybody, Alonzo here with Gulf Coast Smoke, and today we're making beef finger ribs with a twist. So today I wanted to make some beef ribs, one of my all-time favorite barbecue bites, and I really also wanted to do something different with it. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cook these on the same cooker, but we're gonna use two separate rubs. We're gonna use Kosmos cow cover and Meat Church's Holy Cow. I love both of these rubs on my briskets, but today we're gonna try them on beef ribs, and I'll let you know at the end which one I like better. Now, complete disclaimer, I wanna let you guys know, I love both of these rubs. I love both of these Pitmasters. In the end, there's not gonna be a huge loser or anything like that. When it comes to rubs, it's all about your palate, all about what you like. What might be my favorite rub might not be your favorite in the end. So what I want to do with this is just bring some knowledge to you guys, let you guys know what I think of it. But in the end, like I said, it's all up to you. I recommend trying both of these rubs no matter what. And I promise you, none of these are going to taste bad in the end. So come on in a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and get these rubbed up, and then we're going to take them out to the Weber Smoky Mountain. So with beef finger ribs, there isn't that much meat, and I personally don't do a large amount of trimming, so I'm really not going to worry about that today. You can see there's some good meat right between these bones here. This rack right here is a little bit smaller, but it's going to be all right. Everything's going to turn out delicious in the end. What I like to do with my beef ribs is hit it with some hot sauce on top, not a crazy amount, rub it in. Get it all over, and then we're going to hit it with our first rub. And this is going to be Kosmos cow cover. Like I told you guys before, I really like this on brisket. Try it out if you haven't. Get all the sides too. There's going to be meat that you're going to be tasting on the side. You want to have this rub on there. So get a nice coat, pat it in. You can let these hang out for about 20 minutes or so before you throw them on the smoker. Now with beef ribs on the back, you actually don't have to pull the membrane. You can if you want. I prefer not to. With beef ribs, sometimes they tend to get so tender that they'll fall off the bone, and I prefer to still have it on the bone. So that's why I choose not to do that. But let's go ahead and work on this second one. I swapped out gloves so I don't get any of the other rub on this one. And this is going to be hit with our Holy Cow by Meat Church Barbecue. Right off the bat, you can see that there is a lot more pepper in this one. It's very coarse. So they're going to give off different bites for sure. Doesn't necessarily mean one's going to be better than the other, but I really like that aspect about this Meat Church rub, is that it has a lot of pepper and you're going to get a good bark from it. Well, at least I hope. So now I'm going to let these rest for about 30 minutes. Let that rub pull out some of the moisture on the meat. Then we're going to take it outside to my Weber Smoky Mountain. I'm running it at 275 today with the minion method. Like I've told you guys before a couple of times, I don't go into too much detail on that, but leave a comment down below if you'd like me to go into detail on that. I love sharing the information that I know or have learned about barbecue. So if you're interested, just let me know. We're rolling with cherry and hickory smoke today. We're actually doing two videos at once, so you're going to see some other meat out there as well. But let's let these rest for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to be straight out to the cooker. Okay, so we're out at the Weber Smoky Mountain. I'm running right at 268 degrees. That's exactly where I want it. It's going to stay there all day while we're smoking these ribs. I didn't put any water in this water pan. I'm actually going to apply moisture as I need to, and I'll use 50-50 apple cider vinegar and water if needed. We'll check these every hour or so. We are going to wrap these with butcher paper at some point today. We're going to do that whenever we get the nice bark that we want. So let's go ahead and put these on. We'll go inside and wait about an hour. So we got a full house today on this Weber Smoky Mountain. I am shooting 2 videos today at once. I didn't think to get my rib rack out, but we're going with it. Barbecue is what we do, and no matter what, these are going to turn out great. So we're going to go ahead and let these roll for about an hour, and then we'll be out. We're going to check on all of them. They are going to shrink up a little bit, so I'm not too worried about the space here. But let's go ahead and go inside. We're going to hang out with the kids for a little bit, and we'll be back in about an hour. All right, so it's been an hour on these beef ribs, and I want to take a look, see if there's any pullback on these bones, see if we need to spritz it all, see if they're drying out. So come on in, let's take a look. So these beef ribs are actually looking pretty good. I went ahead and just moved them around a little bit, see if we can't get this a little bit better in here. Like I said, we got a full house. We're shooting 2 videos at once. If you look at this Cosmo rib here, it actually has a really nice color. It's kind of getting a little bit more darker mahogany already. This meat church rib, you can see that pepper. So everything is actually looking really good so far. I don't think we need to wrap anything. I don't see any dry spots. Let's go ahead and let these ribs keep rolling. We'll check them back in another hour. All right, so it's been 2 hours on these beef ribs, and I want to take a look at them. I want to see how they're doing. While I was off camera, I actually did go ahead and put the rib rack on here. So if you see that, don't be alarmed. I did that off camera. I just decided I didn't want everything too crowded. It wasn't shrinking as much as I thought it would, but hey, sometimes you just have to adjust. This is barbecue. It's not always going to be perfect, but the Weber Smoky Mountain's running at about 275 degrees, so it's still right where I want it. Let's go ahead and take a look at these ribs. Okay, yeah, you can see that they're actually starting to get a nice color on them. You can see that the bark is forming. Not too much is coming off on my finger when I touch them, so they are getting a little bit dry. Not a bad thing though. We do want to go ahead and hit these with a little bit of spritz. That's just going to be a 50-50 apple cider vinegar and water. That's what I prefer to do on all of my meats. I don't feel like the flavor really comes through all that much, to be honest, but these are looking really, really good. I think maybe after another hour, we'll go ahead and wrap these beef ribs. And after that, probably about 2 more hours until they're done. I would say about 5 hours total is what we're going to put on these ribs. And then, of course, we'll eat them. But everything's looking good. I like the way the cook is going right now. So let's go ahead and keep going. Okay, so it's been 3.5 hours on these beef ribs. I want to take a look. I have a feeling it's going to be time to wrap them. If it is time to wrap them, we're going to wrap them in pink butcher paper. That's what I prefer to wrap my beef in if it's not like a competition style brisket. So let's go ahead and take a look at these beef ribs. Wow, you can actually see a lot of pullback on these bones here. I'm curious what the internal temp is. Let's go ahead and take a quick reading. Wow, 208. Wow. So actually kind of crazy. These are done. These are done right here. I think, you know, most of the time when it comes to barbecue, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of what's going on. Today, I got caught with a surprise, and these are looking done. You can see everything looks really good. The bark is set. It looks like it's going to be absolutely delicious. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. I figured these would take about 5.5, maybe 6 hours. That's what I'm used to. The Weber did hold its temp at 275 the whole time. But, yeah, I mean, these are done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take them inside, wrap them in some pink butcher paper. We're just going to let them rest for about 45 minutes, and then we'll slice them up and eat them. So barbecue isn't always the same. You know, sometimes you just get thrown a curveball, but you got to go with it. So these are done. Thankfully, we're checking them every hour, and let's go ahead and get these wrapped. Okay, so the ribs rested for an hour. I just took them out, unwrapped them from that pink butcher paper, and they're still hot, but they're ready to cut up and we're ready to try them. So if you remember at the beginning of this video, we seasoned these with 2 separate seasonings, our Meat Church Holy Cow and our Cosmos Q Cow Cover. So we want to go ahead and cut these up, and then we're going to talk about how the seasonings taste. So come on in a little bit closer. Let's cut these ribs, show you how they look. Cutting like butter. Juicy. Looks absolutely delicious. They're all looking righteous. Let's take a quick bite. Let's talk about how this tastes. Yep. That's it right there. Wow. Okay. That's an absolutely amazing bite. Amazing flavor. That rub gives it such a good kick. Right there in the beginning, I would say that this rub doesn't have as much pepper as I would personally like to see on a beef, but it's delicious. I mean, that's not to say it's bad or anything like that. This tastes really, really good. I recommend trying this on your beef for sure. I mean, it tastes amazing. Yep. Absolutely delicious. Excuse me, I always get dirty when I eat, but we're not done. Let's go ahead and take a look at this Meat Church Holy Cow and see how that tastes. Juicy, looks really good. You can see the bark on these is definitely different. It has that pepper that you can see right off the bat, and I love that. So let's go ahead and try this out. All day. That to me, you instantly get that pepper. That bark hands down wins. I mean, hands down. That bark is so much better in my opinion. Now again, that's not to discredit Cosmo for his rub. That's an amazing rub too. I just personally prefer this bark. I like getting that crunch right when I bite into this rib. It's absolutely delicious. You can't go wrong with either of these rubs. You can't go wrong with cooking these ribs. So we talked a little bit earlier. This cook didn't go exactly how I thought it was going to, but that's okay. We still have a great product. Keep an eye on your barbecue, know what you're looking for, and make sure that if things do go a little bit different, you recover. Barbecue isn't the same every single time, and that is completely okay. So I really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. It means a lot to me. I've been doing a lot lately. I've been putting recipes on the website. I've been putting merchandise on the website, and I've also started selling some rubs on the website. We've got Chupacabra, we've got Killer Hogs, we've got Meat Church. You guys can get any of that stuff on my website, GulfCoastSmoke.com. Don't forget to interact with me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You could be the person that chooses next what I cook. If you haven't already and you really like what you see on this channel, go ahead and subscribe. It would mean a lot. We're trying to do something different here. I want you guys to see what I do on a weekly basis, and I'm not changing anything up. You're seeing me hang out with the kids. You're seeing me in my backyard, and that's it. This is nothing different from what I do every single day, every single weekend. I really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, so I'm back. I know that it looked like the video was over, but we've been eating these ribs for a few minutes now, and I had to just come back in and say real quick that they're both so good. I do prefer the Holy Cow because I love that pepper. I love that bark that it gives off. But that doesn't mean that this Cosmos cow cover is not good. It's absolutely delicious as well. But I have to give it to Meat Church on this one. I really love the flavor and I love that pepper right off the bat. Now, this is kind of like eating regular beef jerky versus peppered beef jerky. It's all up to you. What do you like the most? So for my pepper lovers out there, I would definitely go with the Holy Cow. You cannot go wrong with either of these. Again, I'm a huge Meat Church rub fan. I think that they put out some of the best rubs out there for sure. But yeah, so I wanted to come back and just quickly say that to the camera. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.